Oh, there you are. Welcome to CapeCast, the official webcast of the Cape Cod Times. Today it's all about bird feeders.
CapeCast.
Well, we're here with Mike, one of the great gurus of bird feeding and birding in general. And Mike, we're talking bird feeders today. First of all, why do people feed birds? They don't feed a whole lot of other animals.
Right, but they feed birds. I think it's for the entertainment. The birds come and they typically leave, so there's not a lot of mess involved. So they come in, they grab a few seeds. They're pretty, they're energetic, they interact, and they don't present a danger. Some of the, you can't invite bears to your yard, for example. There's problems there. If you don't do it right, you'll end up with a lot of stress. So I tell people to have the right attitude, because you will get chipmunks and squirrels and raccoons and possums and skunks come to your yard too. So I say enjoy those also.
Well, wait a second. You mean like someone could end up like peering out their window angry at their bird feeder because they didn't like the other animals, and it could turn into a giant seedy heartburn experiment?
It could actually. It's worse than you think, because there's another layer of that where people don't even like certain birds that come.
Well, come on.
There's the blue jays they get upset about. Those are the mean birds. There's the grackles that are the flying pigs. There's the crows that wake you up. It really gets kind of crazy. There's the amount of control freakness that's out there is unbelievable.
This is from the family of tube feeders. Is that a big sort of family of bird feeders?
Yeah, tube feeders, the early feeders were like platforms or these wooden things that look like houses. Trouble with those is they expose the seed to a lot of weather. They didn't protect the seed very well. These tube feeders, like I said, all the seed stays dry, and they're just little holes for the birds to get the food out. And they're plastic, and they can be taken apart and washed and cleaned. Like the wooden ones, kind of weren't easy to clean, and sometimes it even harbor diseases and things. And it's metal, so the squirrels don't chew it. Wooden ones got chewed all the time, and they didn't last very long. And the birds eat along here, but for the control freaks, when a squirrel gets on it, it closes down.
Well, Mike, CapeCast is kind of an old school show, so we're kind of interested in old school bird feeders, and this looks like the bird feeders I saw as a young man in short pants in the backyards of America.
That's a nice visual. Yes, this is the feeder that I think most people kind of grew up with if you're like my age. Two things about it: you can make it, and people still make this. You can make it, and everybody that was a Boy Scout and needed a merit badge probably made something like this. It's the old house-looking feeder. But there's some downsides of this. First of all, it's not a lot of good drainage, so when you get bad weather like we're getting today, this could fill up with water. So the seed's a little bit more exposed, and besides the chewing, but the birds like it fine. The feeders really don't have to, the birds aren't fussy, so you don't have to go crazy on the design of a bird feeder in terms of getting the birds there, but by keeping the seed protected and keeping some of the animals away, you do have to get a little fussy on the design, but it looks better.
Well, if you're like me, you're cheap, and you want to feed the birds, you want to help, but the economy is really tough. Mike, is there something, say, under $10 you could do to feed the birds?
Yeah, actually, this feeder that we have here is you take an old soda bottle, and you screw the bottom onto this, and this is actually the feeding part. So all you pay for is this metal portion on the bottom. They also make plastic ones, but they don't last very long, so we carry the metal ones. My advice to people is always use the sunflower seed. I know the word, and I've been fighting this for 25 years, is they want to use a mixture. Mixture gets you more birds. That's just crazy. When a bird lands on a plant and eats the seeds, there's not a variety of seeds. It's all one seed from that plant. And the same thing in a feeder. When they land on the feeder, they're going to expect one seed, and they're going to look for one seed, and that's usually sunflower. If something else is in the way, toss, 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 and you'll end up with all the expensive seed on the ground.
Of course, one of the great joys of feeding birds is confounding other animals that want the seed. But also in recent years in the bird feeder world, this like anti-squirrel sentiment has sent inventors scurrying to their blueprints. Mike, will the squirrels ever learn?
I hope not, because I saw a lot of this stuff. They don't seem to catch on, and even if they, you got to remember, they're not doing this to to bug you and I. They're doing it to stay alive. So they smell food that they're driven to it. So they'll never stop.
You're quite an apologist here, Mike, and this place isn't called the Squirrel Watcher's General Store.
I know, but I see people like screaming at them, and I just want people to lighten up.
So in essence, then, a bird feeder is like an inexpensive organic home entertainment system.
In essence, you could. That's what I was going to say, but you said it first. Yes, organic entertainment system, right? You don't have to worry about plugging it in, so your electric bill doesn't go up. You don't have to worry about it becoming obsolete because people still use the same feeders they use time and time again. You don't have to worry about the warranty. You don't have to worry about recalls. It's a pretty simple thing.
CapeCast.